Welcome back to True Crime Documentary YouTube channel. What if the perfect life you see on the outside hides a dark, deadly secret? What if beneath the surface of luxury, love, and success lies a story of manipulation, betrayal, and unimaginable horror? This is the story of Ayesha Kapoor, a woman whose seemingly perfect life unraveled in ways that left an entire country stunned. How did a woman so successful, beautiful, and powerful disappear without a trace, leaving behind a mystery that would haunt those closest to her? To find out, we need to go back to the beginning, to where it all started. Ayesha Kapoor was born into privilege. As the only daughter of a real estate tycoon in Mumbai, her life was filled with luxury from the very start. Her family's wealth and social influence meant that she grew up surrounded by every comfort and opportunity imaginable. From exclusive schools to the company of society's elite, Ayesha's upbringing prepared her for a life of success and responsibility. Intelligent and driven, she had the skills and charm to lead her family's empire to new heights. By the age of 25, she was already managing her family's luxury hotel chain, proving to everyone that she was not just an heiress, but a powerful businesswoman in her own right. But Ayesha's life of privilege came with immense pressure. As the only child, she was expected to uphold the family's legacy and carry its name forward. Society, her family, and even the media saw her as a symbol of success, and she became a prominent figure in high society. But with every achievement, the expectations only grew. She wasn't just expected to succeed, she was expected to be perfect. At 30, Ayesha's life seemed to reach new heights. She married Arjun, a prominent businessman and diplomat, from a family as influential as hers. Their wedding was a grand affair, attended by politicians, business magnates, and social elites. Their marriage symbolized the union of two powerful families, capturing public attention and admiration. Together, they seemed unstoppable, a dream couple with beauty, success, and wealth on their side. They moved into a stunning villa, often appearing together at glamorous events, the very picture of a perfect family. But behind the smiles and wealth, something wasn't right. As the years went by, Ayesha gave birth to 3 daughters whom she adored. But even with her family complete, she felt a growing void. Her family and society expected her to bear a son, the next heir to carry the family name forward. The pressure weighed heavily on her, and gossip started circulating about her inability to fulfill this duty as a wife and mother. Although Arjun was supportive, he did not share Ayesha's desperation for a son. Their once strong bond began to strain, and the silent tension in their home grew. For Ayesha, the weight of expectation became a prison she couldn't escape. Amidst this turmoil, a mysterious man named Vikram Sethi entered her life. In 2001, at a high-profile party in Jaipur, Ayesha met Vikram. Tall, handsome, and charming, he immediately captivated her attention. Vikram wasn't just a man of charm. He claimed to possess unique, mystical abilities. Introducing himself as a feng shui and spiritual expert, Vikram spoke about changing destinies, solving problems that seemed impossible, and influencing fate in ways others could not. His confidence and knowledge intrigued Ayesha. For the first time, she felt that someone understood her pain, her frustration, and her desire for an heir. Sensing her vulnerability, Vikram hinted at his ability to help women conceive sons. He shared stories of past clients who, under his guidance, had successfully borne sons when they had nearly lost hope. For a woman trapped by societal and familial expectations, Vikram's promises felt like a beacon of hope. As they grew closer, Ayesha began confiding in him, trusting him as her guide, mentor, and eventually as something much more personal. The strong, independent businesswoman now found herself depending on Vikram's advice and believing in his assurances. The closeness between Ayesha and Vikram created even more friction in her marriage. By 2003, Ayesha's relationship with Arjun was hanging by a thread, and despite the public scandal it caused, she filed for divorce. The news shocked her family and society, as it was almost unheard of for a woman in her position to walk away from a marriage, especially with 3 young daughters. But Ayesha was determined to take control of her life and placed all her trust in Vikram, whom she believed held the key to her happiness. In a swift move, she married Vikram, believing he could give her the son and legacy she so desperately wanted. Her family was appalled. They couldn't comprehend how Ayesha had entrusted her life to a stranger. Her mother was heartbroken, and her family cut all ties with her, leaving Ayesha isolated from those she had once been closest to. Alone, with only Vikram by her side, she hoped to begin a new chapter in her life. They moved to a grand mansion in Hyderabad, where Ayesha tried to rebuild her life, but things did not go as she had imagined. As months passed, Vikram's charm faded, revealing a controlling and manipulative side. He began isolating Ayesha, taking control of her finances, her social interactions, and even her business decisions. The vibrant woman who once commanded boardrooms and led a successful business empire now found herself silenced and stifled in her own home. The mansion that symbolized wealth and power became her prison. Vikram controlled every aspect of her life, making her feel trapped in a relationship that offered neither support nor freedom. Adding to her anguish, despite Vikram's assurances, she still did not conceive a son. The promises that had drawn her to him now felt like hollow words. Arguments between them grew fierce, and Ayesha's disillusionment deepened. Her decision to divide her assets among her 3 daughters further strained their relationship. Vikram, who had grown accustomed to Ayesha's wealth and influence, saw her decision as a threat to his ambitions. For him, her independence and her assets were the very things he intended to possess, and her desire to share them with her daughters clashed with his selfish motives. Then, in August 2005, Ayesha vanished without a trace. Vikram claimed that she had left for medical treatment abroad, explaining her sudden absence to friends, neighbors, and even distant relatives. Initially, people accepted his story, but as days turned into weeks and then months, her silence became too difficult to ignore. Her family, friends, and former colleagues began to question the conflicting stories Vikram offered. Suspicion grew, but with no concrete evidence, people felt helpless. Vikram continued living his life as if nothing had happened, even bringing other women into the mansion. Ayesha's absence became a dark mystery, and whispers of foul play filled the air. For her eldest daughter, Simran, the silence was unbearable. She knew her mother wouldn't simply leave without a word. Despite Vikram's repeated explanations, Simran couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible had happened. She began to investigate on her own, reaching out to family, friends, and anyone who might have information. When she realized that no one had heard from her mother, her worst fears were confirmed. In December 2005, Simran filed a missing person report, pleading with the police to investigate her mother's disappearance. She shared her suspicions about Vikram, his erratic behavior, and the conflicting stories he'd spun. The police opened an official investigation, questioning Vikram and combing through every detail. They checked travel records, attempting to verify if Ayesha had indeed gone abroad as he claimed, but all efforts yielded nothing. No records, no traces, no sign that she'd left the country. Vikram's answers remained elusive, and the case started to stall. Months passed with no breakthroughs. It seemed that Ayesha's case would become another unsolved mystery, until finally, a breakthrough came. A former servant of the family, after much hesitation, came forward with a disturbing story. Haunted by the events he had witnessed, he recounted the night Ayesha disappeared. According to the servant, on that fateful night, Vikram had drugged Ayesha, rendering her unconscious. In the dead of night, he carried her to the basement, where he had prepared a grave beneath the marble floor. The servant claimed that Vikram had buried Ayesha alive, sealing her fate beneath the mansion that was supposed to be her sanctuary. With this chilling testimony, the police obtained a search warrant and returned to the mansion. Focusing on the basement, they began lifting the marble tiles and digging into the ground. After hours of relentless effort, they found what they were looking for: a wooden coffin buried deep under layers of stone. When they opened it, they discovered Ayesha's decomposing body inside. Scratches on the coffin's lid told a horrific tale. Ayesha had regained consciousness, fighting desperately to escape, but the coffin became her tomb. Vikram was immediately taken into custody. Under intense interrogation, he initially denied any involvement, but as the evidence piled up, he finally broke. He admitted to the murder, revealing his twisted motive. He wanted full control over Ayesha's wealth. Her decision to leave her assets to her daughters had sealed her fate in his eyes, and he saw no other way to maintain control than to eliminate her. The trial that followed gripped the nation, exposing the extent of Vikram's manipulation and cruelty. Witnesses testified about the control he exerted over Ayesha, and forensic evidence painted a clear picture of his premeditated actions. His chilling demeanor in court only served to deepen the public's revulsion. In 2008, the court sentenced Vikram to death, delivering a verdict that was widely celebrated as justice for Ayesha and her daughters. But the case did not end there. In 2010, Vikram's legal team appealed, and the Supreme Court ultimately reduced his sentence to life imprisonment without parole, a decision that divided public opinion. For some, life imprisonment was fitting, while others felt he deserved no mercy for the brutality of his actions. Ayesha's tragic story serves as a haunting reminder of how unchecked greed and manipulation can destroy even the strongest bonds of trust and love. Her life, once a symbol of power and grace, was stolen by the very person she trusted most. The memory of her life and tragic death lingers, a stark warning of the dangers that lie behind a facade of love and trust. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our other videos for more captivating stories. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.